Well, good morning, guys and gals. Welcome to Enduro Radio. Today we're out here in Little Natchez, and we got a bit of a special ride for you today. It's something we've been actually waiting to do all year. Is we are going to head to the summit that way of Mount Clifty, and we're going to go to the tippy top. And after that, we're probably going to do a full loop of the way back down, the longer version, which we'll put up in a second video. And I did something a little different today in that I went, see it pan down so everybody can see a little bit more. I went with a new set of tires. I've been running Michelin Starcross 5s for shooting probably 4 years or so, front and rear, but I kind of wanted to see, what else was out there and what kind of feel it could give me. So Shinko makes this front tire, they call it a fatty, and that's probably my biggest downfall is my front corner grip, I would say. So I'm giving this a go, and I combine that with the Maxxis Desert Rear 120 wide. So get a little more contact patch on the ground and see how that works out. Old Taz is looking raring to go today. Good boy. And without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, here we go. Trail 947 to the summit. This has always been one of my favorite rides. The only downfall of this trail is it is traveled a lot, so it's super whoopy. We actually started about 2.5, 3 miles from the actual trailhead, which is located in Little Natchez at the intersection of Forest Service Road 1900 and 1905, a place called Four-Way Meadows. So if you want to get here, just navigate yourself to Four-Way Meadows, and the trailhead's right there, can't miss it. So we passed the super whoopy stuff back there, and we decided to film from up here and start here because we did the whole thing. It'd be a very long video, so figured we'd just start from here and get the good stuff, because it is good stuff. Alright, up we go. And again, I sincerely hope everybody out there is doing well lately. Still lots of stuff going on out in the world, and I hope that it's affected you very little, and that if it has affected you, that you're navigating through it okay. As with my usual sayings, I want everybody to do well, and we just need a little bit more give a shit for each other these days. So, trying to pass that along as much as I can, and I give a shit about you guys. All the enduro riders out there, all my fellow friends and family, and everybody in the motorcycle community. Oof, nah. So I kind of had something a little different that I wanted to talk about today. Kind of goes along with, our MO here, trying to spew some positivity into the world is the best I know how to, anyways. Again, I always say take everything I say with a grain of salt and do a little experimentation or research for yourself, if you please. And feel free to report back if I'm ever wrong, of course. Of course, most of this stuff is merely, my opinion on a subject or something I might have a little knowledge about here and there. But over the last week, I've been listening to an audiobook by Lawrence Gonzalez called Deep Survival. And it's a book full of true stories of kind of the situations people have found themselves in, that were essentially life and death, and how they got out of it, who got out of it, and why, all the way down to a psychological and neurochemical level. And this is not the first time I've listened to this book. I hate to admit it, but this is, I think, my 4th or 5th pass through it, because it is, for 2 reasons, the best book I think I've ever been through of any kind. One, some of the stories and the things these people get themselves into and how they got out and persevered will make you question your own human potential pretty much the whole time. It's absolutely amazing. And again, I'll give you that title just in case you need to write it down, because it is worth the time. And the narrator tells an amazing story. And he's got one of those voices that is reminiscent of almost like James Earl Jones, the guy that narrates it. It's not the actual author, Lawrence Gonzalez. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but he tells a hell of a story. He does that book very, very good justice as he goes through everything. So it is called Deep Survival. Author's name is Lawrence Gonzalez. Get the hardback, get the audio version, what have you. You will be amazed what you learn about yourself by hearing all the stories of these other people. I know I was, over and over again. And I thought it would be apt to bring this up today on account of we are riding to the summit. And I've always kind of referred to, you know, the peak of your own human potential, as Johnny Boy, as a summit. You know, you don't know where it is. That's kind of part of the fun. How far can you push yourself? How far can you take yourself? How good can you do in any given one thing? And oh, the rock climb. Let's pop up and over this right quick and see how this new desert rear tire does over that sharp stuff. I think this is where this thing shines, so here we go. Oh, didn't even feel it. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, good job, Maxis. Johnny over it, okay. So on average, we as human beings, on any given day, we use about 25 to 35% of our potential. And as far as overall lifetime strive, I would say we, as an average human being like myself, probably unlock maybe 60 to 70% if we push ourselves really, really hard. But what this book, Deep Survival, has taught me, as far as reading about how these people got out of these situations they found themselves in where others chose to simply sit down and die, simply by finding it, you know, deep inside their own mind to get it done. Because the mind's a funny thing, you know, the brain itself, it's not really a muscle, it's not really an organ. You know, it's responsible for breathing, but it's not part of your respiratory system. It's also responsible for blood flow, but it's not part of your circulatory system. Yet, it can affect and impact and change the chemistry of your body simply with a thought, whether it be subconscious or conscious. I've always found that very interesting. And you can use that to kind of push yourself along, which is pretty cool. And what I mean by that is there are certain portions of the brain, whether it be, you know, your amygdala or your prefrontal cortex, that do certain things and release certain chemicals to essentially rewire itself to make your body go into certain states, if you will, you know, whether it be a state of stress or a state of panic. Those are all controlled by different parts of your brain. And you can push yourself a lot further if you can figure out a way to consciously control those. And it could be simple stuff as, you know, let's say you find yourself lost in the woods, or you know, you're trying to get out of a situation you don't like, where your first, you know, neural instinct is to panic. But if you can subdue that, you can maintain a stage 1 stress level. And a stage 1 stress level is heightened perceptions, elevated heartbeat, dilation of the pupils, yet total psychological control. Where a stage 2 stress level is, you know, for lack of a better word, panic. That's when you start making mistakes and you mess up. Which is no good. And And I'm not talking about this just as a, how to tell you to get out of the woods or something. See how Johnny Boy's doing. But talking about this because you can use this in your day-to-day life. Whether you're trying to push forward to achieve something or trying to get in shape and you want to push yourself harder, or you're trying to reach the summit of that mountain, whether it be on a dirt bike or hiking or rock climbing or ice climbing, which is gnarly, by the way. That's not something I'd ever do. That's terrifying. I choose life. But it's more along the lines of, if something seems too scary and you start to think about it too much to a point where you start to go into, let's say a minor state of panic. Remembering that fact, I have found over the last couple years of my life, helps you to push forward. Without a doubt. Because we all have a lot of unlocked potential within us, you guys. Like I said, I'm the average, super medium, as far as percentile of people that can do some really amazing things. And if I can come out here and climb these mountains and keep myself in semi-decent shape and, continue exercising my brain, whether it be research or on something I'm interested about or listening to audiobooks. Guys, I listen to audiobooks every second of the day pretty much, unless I'm in the middle of work or doing something that doesn't really necessitate me being able to listen to audiobooks. I'm all about it. I kind of have this weird quirk, and people, just say it's the oddest thing in the world. I don't really care for it, but I don't like music. I don't know why. It's not my thing. It doesn't do it for me. Whenever I hear music come on the radio, like if I'm driving my pickup or what have you, my first instinct is to turn it off. I'd rather learn something, You end up being a little better at the end of every day for it. And that kind of goes to reaching that summit of your potential. Whether it be psychologically or physically. It always behooves oneself to try a little bit harder than you normally would, I've said it 1,000 times before, we tend to be mundane about our day-to-day goings-on. And that can eke into a pattern of, just kind of being lackadaisical. Which is fine. It's not really a bad thing, per se, but you'll just find yourself getting into this kind of group of, monotony, I guess. And that's not something I want to do. That's not the guy I want to be. I want to be better in all aspects, everything, physically, psychologically, emotionally. I want to be better to people. I want to be better at my job. I want to be better at riding motorcycles all the time. I want to be smarter all the time. I want to learn something new every day. And that's why I listen to audiobooks. It's hard to find the time to sit down with a book for hours and hours, which, I like to do, but I also like to keep busy. It's hard for me to sit down. I'm too damn ADD. Oh, here's the climb, guys. So, I listen to audiobooks constantly. I would say 40 to 50 a year, just to keep my brain sharp, make sure I'm intaking some sort of information other than just, the noise and the hollering of music, for what it's worth. It helps a lot to reach my own summits, as we are about to, right here. I'd say we're about 150 yards away, the top of Mount Clifty. This went a lot quicker than I thought, I will be honest. But here we go, up to 6,000 feet. It's like 5980 if you want to be super specific about it. And I will show you why. This is one of my favorite rides very shortly. Oh my God, I haven't been up here in about a year. Oh, Clifty, how I missed you. Oh, baby. For everybody that's never been here, Welcome to the summit of Mount Clifty. Well, the real summit's actually on top of that rock, so we'll hop over there right quick and have a little peek-see. I'm gonna kind of get turned around here. Set my bike on a kickstand. This whole thing's kind of at an angle, so it's a little bit tough to just drop her down. This ought to be decent. Hard pack enough. Oh, you guys. Tell me this isn't one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And we got, I don't know if you can see it on here, but we got Mount Rainier. That'd be the backside. We're staring at it, you know, from the east. And then I think Adams should be somewhere over there, but I want to say it's blocked by those ridges. Yeah, it's just on the other side. Let's hop up to the top of the rock real quick. So what's cool about here, if you ever make it up here, you guys, make sure that you get to the top of this rock here, because there's a little book in a tube with a pen, and it's really cool. You can sign your name. Holy crapola, forgot about that. And you know, the date, the bike you rode, maybe a little note to the gods of speed, if you will. Oh, the book is gone. Oh man. Well, never you mind. Take this in, everybody. Absolutely beautiful. Again, this is one of those things that no matter how many times you do it, we made it. You never get over it. It's like seeing it for the first time. Breathtaking. All right, everybody. Well, we'll continue on since we seem to have reached the summit of Mount Clifty a hell of a lot faster than we thought we would. Oh, good stuff. Kind of a fun part about coming down this part is once you get up over this hump over here, you just kind of kill your motor and coast for quite a while. Pull things downhill. We are doing the bigger loop today, so a little bit of fuel management to be had. Not terrible, but you know, I'm always the guy to err on the side of caution when it comes to fuel load, because not that I'm afraid of anything happening, I'm just too lazy to walk. And that's that. All right, here we go. Oh, also, one thing I'm very excited about, but seem to have forgot to mention so far, there's a new member of the Enduro Radio family, pretty excited about, in the form of a bitchin' van. Because I've told you earlier, we're gonna take you to some little bit further off places, and we needed the vehicle to do it. So yesterday, on the 4th of July, we went and bought one. And it's awesome. It's a Chevy conversion van in fantastic shape. It's great. You can sit in it. You can lean on it. You can drive it. Hell, you can play cards in it. You can sleep in the damn thing. It's got one of those bitchin' ass fold-out couches. And I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Rhett, it cannot be a true bitchin' van unless it has a V8 and dual pipes coming out the rear. Well, my reply to that would be this. Haha, you bet it does. Yes, sir. I never thought I'd be so excited to own a van, but I'm pretty excited about it. And the hell of it is, it's a big old steel tank with a 350 V8 in it, and heavier than shit. Gets better gas mileage in my truck. I still can't figure that out. So, you know, kudos to us for our trips to Idaho, Oregon, and California later in the year, providing COVID-19 doesn't shut us down. We're gonna keep on that. And we are planning our California venture, which we're gonna film probably 3 to 4 episodes down there, different various locations, either the end of September or the beginning of October. That way we're gonna have, you know, some videos to put out for you, you know, kind of when the riding season here in Washington's getting, you know, closer to an end and the weather turns on us. So that's gonna be fun. Lots of fun. I almost think my wife is more excited about it than I am. She's been out of town helping her mom. You know, her mom had a hip replacement surgery, and she's been over there, you know, helping take care of her. And I sent her a link to this van I found on Craigslist. Fell about, I don't know, 200 miles away. And she's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And a little while later, she calls me, and I expected the call to be, you know, how her mom was doing, because she just got home from surgery. And the first words out of her mouth, she's like, you're gonna buy that van, right? I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I thought it crossed my mind, but hell, I guess I am now. So went and picked her up, and it's beautiful. So we'll be able to get away a little easier, even if it's only for a day or two. We don't have to worry about getting a hotel or pitching a tent or anything like that. Just park the van, hop in the back, and off we go. And this be our turn off. So we're gonna take a right here and head up the north end of Anastas Ridge and down 943, I believe it's Cub Creek, they call it. Off we go. So back to our previous topic of conversation. Trying to find the summit of your own potential is kind of a double-edged sword, because you never really want to, you know, find it per se, because that's one of those deals that, you know, it's kind of a constant forward progress type of thing, same as Enduro. You know, you don't ever want to stop pushing forward. You don't want to get to that point where, oh, okay, I found my peak potential. Just gonna leave it there. Who cares? You know, it's a little more than that, and it goes into everything you do in your day-to-day life. You know, let's say if you begin to work out, you know, going to a gym, trying to get physically better shape. Your tasks in your day-to-day life, whether it's yard work or chores, or if you have a little bit more of a physical job, what have you, those things become easier. And when they become easier to you, you know you're progressing. Or if you have a job that, you know, requires more mental capability, that's kind of where I say, you know, listen to audiobooks in your spare time. Hell, you can do it when you're at home doing whatever, doing the dishes, mowing the yard, driving. I mean, how much time do you spend in your car every week? Think about that. Put that into minutes. What if you could spend those minutes attaining information of various things? And it could be whatever you want. I listen to, you know, various things, whether it be, you know, survivalist novels or, you know, science. I'm a big astrophysics nerd, so a lot of Donald Goldsmith and Neil deGrasse Tyson stuff kind of tickles my fancy, if you will. And of course, I've talked about it before, but Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance was a really, really good one as far as, you know, overall life lessons and how he related it to motorcycles. And this trip he took with his kid was really, really cool. But I'll say it again, the guy that wrote that book is super weird. And I have a feeling he had a multiple personality disorder or something like that after really kind of paying attention to it. Very, very interesting. And there's not really a lot of, you know, good dirt biking books I found on audiobooks yet. So, still waiting for that. If anybody knows one, they'll post it in the comments. I would love to give it a listen. But just things of that nature where, you know, even the emotional aspect we talked about in episode 1 of Pay It Forward, of, you know, you'll be a lot more emotionally sound in your own right the better you are to other people, and the nicer you are to other people, and you'll see that reciprocated It's almost a karma thing, I guess. You know, not that I believe in any hocus pocusy stuff by any means, but you know, what goes around comes around a little bit. People are nice if you're nice. People are better to you if you're better to them. People tend to remember that stuff and hang on to it. You know, and all that goes forward to kind of finding the height of your full potential yourself. And it does behoove oneself to, you know, push yourself a little bit, either physically or psychologically. You know, I don't care how many times I got to say it. It's a good thing to remember. Like out here, you know, this type of ride, and I've said it before, can be very intimidating. But the more you push yourself to, let's say, well, not look at the edge, or just keep yourself focused on where your front tire is going to end up, not where it's at, where it's going to end up. Constantly look ahead. You start staring down at your front tire, you're going to miss an obstacle coming up to you, and you're going to be a real sour unit for a little bit. Oh, we got Johnny behind me. We're doing good. Okay. Boy, I can't outrun that kid anymore to save my life. It's starting to become a problem. That's why he's behind us today. Because he's getting to that point where he gets in front of us, guys, we're not going to see him the rest of the day. He's gone. He's a young man. I'm starting to be an old man. So I tend to ride a little more cautiously here and there on this stuff nowadays, because as much fun as this is, and you know, it's fun to see how fast you can go on it. Enduro's not all about speed. Again, it's about constant forward progress. And at the end of the day, the goal is to make it back to the truck. Or your bitchin' van, of course, if you got one of those. But just to make it home. You know, it's supposed to be fun. Don't come out here and hurt yourself or, you know, bang yourself up. My stepbrother, Jason, bless his heart, lives up in Canada. Oh, about, shoot, a little over a decade ago. He was out here riding some stuff like this up in Canada and started getting a little ahead of himself, if I recall the story correctly, and ended up flinging himself off a pretty sheer cliff. Unfortunately still has some psychological issues that stem from that to this day, because he was in the hospital in very bad shape for a very long time. And it's not something I use out here to, you know, make myself scared about it. It's just something I always keep in the back of my head out of respect for him, because he's just one of the best guys in the world. And the fact that, you know, he looks at all this and still wants to ride, but, you know, but by all means can't. And I hate to say it, but probably shouldn't, even though I'm a large advocate for riding until you're physically unable. And the thing is, he's physically able. It's just, if he takes another whack to the head like that, that's probably lights out for him, you know. And I love the guy to death. As far as, you know, stepbrothers go, I got the coolest one in the world. Jason, if you're out there, I miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing good. Ugh. One of the reasons I started Enduro Radio, guys like him too, maybe can't get out here anymore, or live in a place where these aren't accessible, or just maybe life just didn't, you know, deal you the right hand of cards to allow you to come out and do this. You know, just want to take you on a ride, have a chat, and we're still having a lot of fun doing it. Alright, wait for Johnny here. There we go. You notice I stop a lot to do that, you guys. I just do not ever want to lose anybody, or God forbid, you know, if I stop and that kid doesn't show up in a few seconds, it usually means something's up and I need to turn around and go help him. Because I've been there before. You know, last time we were down in California at a place called Stonyford, we were grooving along a single track trail. It was kind of a goat trail, didn't have anything on either side, or on the one side rather. And my front tire kind of went off the edge a little bit. I just caught a rut just right, and you know, it kind of flicked my tire to the right, and over the edge I went, and I got pinned under my bike about, oh, not far, maybe 10 feet down from the edge, but I was only stopped by a fallen tree that was kind of going parallel with the trail. Had it not been for that tree, I would have been all the way down to the ravine at the bottom. Might not have been a, you know, a devastating or fatal fall, but I probably would have been injured, and then we would have had two problems. Getting me out, getting old Taz here out, because I'm not leaving my buddy behind. I love this bike a lot, more than any other bike I ever had. These Beta 300 RRs are just something else in that regard. While we're on that subject, I kind of had an epiphany this week. You know, I keep getting the question from a lot of people, you know, both online and just, you know, in person and, you know, general chit chat passing by. Like, Rhett, why do you name your stuff? It's like, well, I don't name all my stuff, but I do name my motorcycles, and I'm going to tell you why. There are two sides of the coin of motorcycles, and you can't have one without the other. You cannot come out here and ride without the motorcycle, and the motorcycle cannot come out here and ride without you. Yin and yang, you know? So I don't know, maybe I'm a little more romantic about that fact, I guess would be the word. Same way, you know, people are passionate and romantic about, you know, baseball or whatever your fancy is. And just like a horse, you tend to bond with these things. And it is psychologically and emotionally impossible to bond with something that does not have a soul. And if something has a soul, by golly, it should have a name. There you go, I named my bikes. And this one, I've said it 1,000 times, he's like riding a little Tasmanian devil if you cut him loose, so his name is Taz. The Husky we used to call Big Bird is, he was, you know, blue and yellow back in the day. Just kind of looked like Big Bird. Hey, my wife's bike, her Beta 300. We named her Reba, because she's a spunky girl and a redhead. So there you have it. And I don't just name things right away. I kind of figure out what their personalities are, you know? So, of course, Taz has his name about an hour into our first ride together. It was pretty obvious. Huh, buddy? You bet. And yeah, I'm kind of a nerd about it, but I love it so much. Good stuff. Now we're getting into the fun part, guys. We're on Trail 1388, and we are heading north, and we're gonna hang a left on Trail 943, but it's gonna be a while. This is a pretty long loop. We call it the Epic Loop. This is probably my favorite out here. Check out Johnny, make sure he's all right. You good, bud? Okay. This is actually my wife's favorite ride as well. We haven't done it yet this year, but we'll probably do it next weekend when we're out here for our 4-day camping trip and filming our ladies episode. So you guys should see that inside of 2 weeks. And so, you know, keep an eye out for it. I've been really excited about doing it. I've been planning for it for a long time. And we're pulling the trigger. So, got some good ladies on board for it. Not all are going to be physically here, but, you know, we're interviewing a lady out of Canada who's going to, you know, get us some footage and some pictures of herself. And I had a phone interview with her about, 3-4 days ago in preparation for it. And she's got a lot of insight. She's extremely intelligent and a very impressive lady. And a wife and a mom to boot. I don't know how she does it. I really, really don't. So we'll meet her as well. Oh, this stuff is so good today. Man, a lot. Not super whoopy. Just whoopy enough. Well, I don't have a whole whole ton for you today, guys. You know, we kind of wanted to, you know, just touch base on a little bit of, you know, kind of pushing yourself a little bit, being a better you, as I'm trying to promote here with Enduro Radio. Because being a better you makes the world a better place for everyone else. You know, we kind of look at this thing all a little selfishly sometimes. Hell, I'm guilty of it myself, you know, me. But I really try not to, because it's those people around you, especially the good ones, that truly make your world special. And you only get this one shot at life. You guys just embrace it and love it, even the shitty parts. Learn from them. You know, you don't have to take them with you your whole life, but at least learn from them. So we're gonna keep on this ride, and we're gonna post it the same day as we post this episode. And we'll just call it Little Natchez, the Epic Loop, if you want to find it. That way you can see the rest of the ride, because it is really good. So, as always, everybody, take care of yourselves out there. Damn it. Take care of each other. We'll see you next week. Cheers.